Yeah. What is up? All right. Let's put this on the screen. Good morning. We'll do some shout outs. You know the routine. Come on, guys. You know the routine, right? Get some people in here. I think notifications actually did go out. It's Tuesday. Hopefully you were at home and you're gonna exercise your right. You know, we're not gonna get political, but I hope that you've researched and choose well, and hope you do well. So, anyways, I have full intention of doing that today if I can get away from the desk, which shouldn't be a problem. So, although my phone is already blown up this morning, but anyways, we got the hot market map up here for all the platforms, and we'll get some people in here, and then we'll go over a few low board things, but then we can discuss a few others. So, um, yeah. I've been watching I've been watching some trends, and I noticed that reefer rates have picked up a little bit, and I've also been experiencing some decent van rates. So I think it really comes down to the relationships you've built and what parts of the country you're in, for reals. So let's see. No, we don't want that there. So, anyways, let's add that back. So I hope you are all well. So we'll yeah. So okay, there's the low board, and we'll start our shout outs here. We got Grafton. Good morning. Pigtail is in the house. Max Force. Good morning, Mrs. Nevada. You changed your name. I like it. Short, straight to the point. Not an annoying long name like some people I know. Stuart, what's up? Old school, new school, just inside Oklahoma. Yeah, it's enjoy the weather, man. It's pretty nice today. Um, and I mean, I'm depending on what part of Oklahoma you're at. I mean, I'm not too far from you. Tennessee, what's up? Acme truck driver is here. I have no idea what that means. Cattle hauling, good day. Does that mean you're at the receiver? Getting unloaded in Fargo. I've been there. A balmy 35 degrees. It's supposed to get cold this weekend, so that's going to be nice. Jeremy Rice, what's up? Jose, good morning. Pale Rider TV. Everybody check out Pale Rider. He just recently purchased a microphone, so it's his live streams are a lot better now, and not that they weren't bad before or weren't good before. I mean, they're fine, but now you got the professional sound going on, and those of you who listen to these things like podcasts, I know that good audio is important. And YouTube appreciates that as well. Sage Live Outcast instead of news. Bull the Woods, Hot Seat, Mrs. Nevada. Yep, you're the first one to notice. Well, I pay attention sometimes. I mean, my wife will tell you sometimes I don't, but Mr. T-Bone, are you still at home? Or are you driving yet? See, everybody saying hi to Nevada and then SST. What's up? So let's go over some. We'll not only just go over the load availability, but we'll go over some information that I've been looking at here. There is your reefer map. So you can kind of look at what's going on here. Let's take a look at Florida, since Florida seems to be always green in this world. So we got loads coming out of Tampa, Palmetto, Tampa, Palmetto, Tampa, Palmetto, Miami. Oh, I got loads actually coming out of Miami. Let's take a look at one of them. Miami, Florida to McAllen, Texas. $1.06 is the average rate. Ouch. Yeah. Check pickup date for load dates. So I've never dealt with this brokerage before. See if they're approved with underfunding. But you could definitely tell the low was a $1.17, average got up to 270, and then the high was at 1.477. But man, look at that trend. No bueno. Here's Miami to Birmingham. See how many miles is that? 750. So that's actually, that's a shorter hop, but still that's a day and a half there, or a day and a partial, not a half, but a day and a partial that you're under that load. So look how high it got at one point. At one point it was at 252 for average, and the high was 487. Now it's way down there. So the green is focused on load availability, which I've said in the past that it doesn't necessarily equate to good rates. Just means you get more chances to get the rate that you're looking for. Let's see, Kissimmee, Axle Logistics. I've dealt with them. 1,100 miles going to Texas. A little bit better rate, but not great. But look, there's no spikes coming out of Kissimmee though. Notice that, like the low. This was the highest spike, and that was still $1.70. So probably not going to get much fluctuation out of here. Which on the good side of that, then you know what to expect. Now I'm going to go to the comments here. They sound almost as good as mine. Still at home picking up the truck today after going to vote. There you go. It is raining on I-44 coming in the big cabin. Oh, okay. Guess we got some storms coming. Storm heading towards Florida. That's what I wanted to highlight. Yeah, man, you got a hurricane situation coming on. It's not as big as the other one. What was it, Ian, that came through? But it's definitely gonna, and I think it's gonna go right up the. I mean, so if you live in Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, you're going to feel the impacts of this thing by the way it's going to hit. So, the Southeast, if you see a really good paying rate going to the Southeast, that's even more than normal, then you better check the weather. It's raining in LA today. Good morning, Shannon. Good to see you. Let's see. Grafton is saying hi. Virtual hug. Hot seat, Oklahoma City is balmy and calm. No rain currently. It's nice when it's calm, though, right? That's the normal low rate down here. Yeah, so Jose is like, yeah, that's normal. And I think it's interesting that there were some spikes coming out of Miami, but Kissimmee was pretty much even, Steven. So that's the beauty of Florida, is you know what to expect. Yeah, it looks like they're going to get hit. So morning all. Today is a good day. The blood moon was cool last night. Enjoy the red wave. Cool truck, and I got up early this morning to see the lunar eclipse, and the cloud said, "No, you ain't." So I missed it. I think the first time I saw a lunar eclipse was I was about 9. I was at summer camp, and we all went outside and looked at it. It was pretty neat. And we've caught a couple since then, but lunar eclipse in the desert now, that's some viewing right there. So, but anywho, let's look at Van. I almost labeled this video Tuesday Go Vote, whatever, but I didn't. I know YouTube doesn't like analytics, don't like the whole political thing, or does it? Um, there's Van. There's the states you want to be in for Van. Let's take a look at Texas. I bet you're going to see a lot of things coming out of the Houston area. Houston, Paris, Waco, Amarillo. That's rare. Usually you don't find a lot of freight out of Amarillo for Van. And see, look, they're doing the odd number thing here too, right? So they've caught on to that trick. And then there's your averages throughout the last year. See Laredo, Clarksville, McAllen, Mission, Far, Flower Mound, Grand Prairie. See, this is a load I would do right here. Best Logistics. Let's see, Grand Prairie, Texas to Kansas City, Missouri. That'd be a good one. The rates aren't too bad. 15,000 pounds. That's a winner right there, folks. Kansas City is a good market. So out of all of these, this is the one I'd grab. Depending on the customer and product and all that. Let's see, and I'm familiar with that. Well, no, I'm not familiar with best logistics, but let's take a look at that. So let's see. They're pre-approved by Thunder. They are a TM member. Credit rating is 98. Score A for Thunder. 33 days to pay. 27 on TransCredit. So there you go. And then if you wanted to see only what they have, so you can click on that. You can see all the loads that this particular brokerage has. And then you can also see truckload van. So here's something. That's how you can find. I mean, look. I mean, this is a good time to be like, hey, broker, what you got? Keep me busy. Fort Worth, Grand Prairie, Dallas, Corpus Christi. Let's take a look at that one. Corpus Christi to Shreveport, the land of the beautiful roads. Shreveport is. Let's see. Average rate is 261. That's pretty good. Now it's a short, 458 miles. So but you can see it's kind of it's spiked for a minute, but then it's kind of leveling out. Now they don't show up for Thunder Funding, so if you're with Thunder Funding, you're going to still want to check, but usually this means that you're probably in pretty good shape unless there's some weird issue. And then what I like about this map is that right away you can see kind of the areas that you want to be in, and you can kind of zoom in on that map. So Houston, Dallas. So Texas ain't doing too bad. A lot of this stuff's for, Thursday and Friday. But there's some stuff today. So, Pam, what's up? You get your truck fixed? You rolling yet? Yeah, it was partly cloudy, but I got to see glimpses. Morning from Cali. G-Star, good morning, folks. And Mr. Steve, greetings from Carroll Stream, Illinois, getting empty, and then to Missouri. That's a good spot to be in. I had a driver, not one of the drivers I'm dispatching, but another driver I know. He was in Illinois and told me he was in the best freight spot in the country right now. There was like over 640 loads within a 50-mile radius of where he was sitting. So if you're in Illinois, you shouldn't be sitting. You should be moving and grooving. And look, here's the other thing about staying in the right areas, right? If you're a picky driver like myself, I am a picky driver. Not that I can't, do everything, but why should I, right? And the odds of finding something that I like are better when there's better numbers, obviously. So if you're a picky driver, but if you're a picky driver, then you want to stay in the best freight areas on the in and out ratios. Now, the caveat to that is if it comes down to needing to do something that you don't want to do, then the ability to do that is important. The willingness to do that is important because you're running a business, right? And it's not just about survival, it's about strategizing and making sure that you can always have the truck in the wind and you're good to go. Big Houston, what's up? What part of Missouri you going to there, G-Star? St. Louis is a good market right now. Let's look at Missouri. Let's do that. See, we're on band still. Let's look at good old Mo. Surge has got a lot of freight in Missouri. Epps has got a little bit. Chillicothe, that's going to be so. Chillicothe. Let's look at one of these. I know what this is. This is plastic containers. I believe it's the plastic containers that Kraft uses for those little macaroni and cheese bowls that you microwave. And the thing with Chillicothe is like in the middle of nowhere, Missouri. See if I can. It's like 70 is here, Kansas City's here, and St. Louis is over here. So it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. It's almost to the Iowa line. But I've picked up loads there all the time. Pretty easy stuff. A lot of it's drop and hook, like drop trailer for a day or so. So you got to be careful. But that's primarily what comes out of there. And for van, now for reefer, they got a couple of reefer shippers up there as well. A lot of stuff coming out of Chillicothe. So as you can see, Epps has this shipper. So if you lived in northern Missouri, I'd be contacting these people and say, hey, what do you got? So when you look at these loads, they got Delphi, Indiana, Cannon Falls, Minnesota, which aren't bad areas, right? So if let's say you pick one of these Cannon Falls, obviously they got one a day. There's one for the 10th, one for the 11th. Oh, no load no longer available. So let's see if this one is. Nope, that one's gone too. So someone's obviously starting to snag these. Yep, the one for today is gone. But anyways, what you can do is let's see if there's one for the 11th. No, it's gone too. So someone came in and snagged a lot of that. So so if you live in that area, you contact Epps and you say, "Hey, can you put me on an email list, please? Can you call me every time you got one of these?" and then boom, now you've got a broker. Especially if they, look, if they don't pay worth a darn, then it'll probably switch brokers at some point because they won't be able to get it moved. But but the caveat to that is if there's a small carrier there that can utilize some good negotiating, they might take it all cheaper than you can do it for. But just in case they don't, what you can do is you can get on their list and say, hey, anytime I live here, anytime you got a load coming out, and then you just got to pick the ones that have a better chance of a backhaul, like Cannon Falls, Minnesota. You're staying in good markets and you have a steady load out. That was something I've always done. Landstar, Schneider, Spot, always. That's kind of how it rolls. You know, so that's how you find those. Now, Surge has a lot of stuff come out in St. Louis, and I believe that's going to be beer. So let's take a look at that. Yep, beer. So Surge obviously went up to Budweiser and said, "Hey, check it out. We can do this for you." And so now you got to watch your beer permits and what states you go through, and Convoy's got a really good resource for that. Don't let the broker say you don't need a permit for that. Don't fall under that trap. See, Epps has more Chillicothe going on. Now, AMX Logistics, Springfield, Missouri. This is my load right here, Springfield to Morris. That's going to be, let's see, what's the weight on this? 40,000. That might be craft. Oh, food and beverage. So probably Busky. So it's important, guys. We're at the time of the year where it's important you need to see what the product is because you need to know if it's freeze protect or not. Now, you might sit there and like, well, I've got this load going to Montana. It's a 2-day run. It's not supposed to get cold, but what if your truck breaks down? Then you're going to have to find a way to move. And let's say, the truck's broke down for a week and then it's supposed to get down the teens. That could be a problem. So you have to think of stuff like that when it comes to van and freeze protect. But this is a good load. I like this load. It's easy. Anybody who's ever been, more than likely, 99% chance this is Costco. And Costco's awesome. I love, love, love delivering Costco. If every load could be a Costco run, I'd be a happy camper. Easy breezy. They have their act going on. Now, this Neo show to New Braunfels, let's see the weight on this. Ah, yes, finished goods. So this is going to be appliances, small appliances, coffee makers, toasters, all the crap that people give you for Christmas that you end up returning. How do I know that? Because I've worked this area for, a lot of years. Coffee. Now, I've seen these Neosho runs go between several brokers, so that either means that they're constantly negotiated, or there's a low board they're getting it off of, or they have several brokers running their freight, or it's a 3PL. St. Louis, Glasgow, Chillicothe. Again, F's with the Chillicothe. So obviously they've got all the Chillicothe. Logistic Dynamic. They've got St. Louis. So let's click on one of theirs. They got one for, is that November? Oh, December 6th. Good. Yeah, we're not booking this one. But see, okay, so you don't have to book this, right? I mean, it says December 6th because I've got it on any date. Well, it just shows you that these guys have these loads planned out for quite a while, right? I mean, we're into November 27th here. Now, if you're an awesome person like me and work for like trucking and you want to run Missouri Interstate, here's all your interstate loads: Kansas City to Fulton, Kansas City to Fulton. So this is probably going to be sugar or water. That's water. That weight right there, that's Niagara water going either Niagara or the other one, premium, going to Fulton, Missouri. That's Dollar General. Man, Steve, how do you know that? Jeez. Springfield to Kinlock. Um, that heavy, it's probably going to be mustard. Kansas City to St. James, that's a good run. Republic to Bridgeton, that's not a very long run. Oh, no, that's St. Louis. Bridgeton is St. Louis. See, Maida. Good old Maida, Missouri. Maida, Missouri, that's going to be going to a dog food plant. That might be pallets. What's the weight on that? 42,000. Dried lamb. Is this a van load? Yeah. So ingredients going to the dog food plant there. Anybody who's ever been to Maida can probably see that. Um, it's like you go on these really windy 2-lane, sometimes no lined roads, and you go down into this, like it's at the bottom of this big hill. It's like it's a big cereal bowl. There's no phone signal down there, at least for me at that time. I used to drop and hook trailers down there, always empty. Never took a load out of there. Let's see, Peevely to Kabul. Now, Kabul's tricky, right? You know why? Because Kabul is one of those that's not, there's really nothing around it. Well, no, I take that back. You've got the Springfield market. So, Kabul, you got Springfield market, and then you might be able to get something out of Rolla, which is going to be this area here. That's Pepsi. So I know what this is. I bet you anything it's going to be it might be raw materials to go to Kabul, glass bottles or whatever. So, anywho, know your markets. And it takes time and experience and networking to figure that out. To Kansas City, and then they're paying me $1,400 for 460 miles. Not too bad. That's a good rate. I did all right with that. You did all right with that. I did something similar to Tennessee. So, Sterling, good morning. Reporting from Sparks, Nevada. What's the weather like up there, or down there, or over there? Still haven't found the main problem. Was at the shop most of last week. Navistar Engineering is involved, but can't seem to figure it out. Unbelievable. I wonder if bed buggers rates dipped in home goods. Seems like everyone's moving south. Movers should be held steady. I don't know. That's a great question, Tyrannus. I don't know any bed buggers. I used to. I know somebody used to do that, but for the most part, I think the cream of the crop for those guys is the government, military base movement. If you can get on that, then you're set. Because, military people have to move regardless of whatever's going on. But I imagine moving rates out of California are pretty extreme. You got people fleeing the cities of Portland, Seattle, LA, San Francisco, and then you got all the all the base movements. So that's a good question. Look, I mean, you see the bed buggers trucks, man, they're nice most of the time. So it's a whole different world there. Did we look at reefer? Let's look at reefer. Let's see what intrastate in Missouri for reefer looks like. So we'll click on that. There's only 4 on the intrastate. Macon, Missouri to Carthage, Milan. Now Carthage, that's going to be the caves. Well, no, I take it back. There is a turkey butterball. They do have a plant that's not in the cave over there. I've delivered pallets there. Let's look at the outbound. Maida, St. Charles, Jefferson City, Jeff City. Let's take a look at one of these. I'm not familiar what would come out of Jeff City other than Coke. It says reefer though. So I don't know. I haven't worked Jeff City in quite a while. So when you look at the routing, that's essentially going to you're gonna be on toll roads for the majority of the time. Yeah. You'd want some extra money on that one. That's why the average rates are pretty high or higher, I guess. Well, that's a reefer load, so that's not a great. It's not a great average. This is the load I would do if you can talk surge up. They're hard to talk up, so ignore this posted rate. That's BS. All right. Oh, it's a load of beer. So with beer, you got to be careful on the weight, right? But Wisconsin, that's a good spot, van or reefer. So so just again, know your markets, people. So they even got a lot of the beer here in the. Here we go, Springfield to Pearl River. Now, you know what this is? This is going to be grocery going to, I believe, AWG there in Pearl River. Look at the spikes on the rates here, all over the place. All right, I don't think I've touched flatbed yet, so let's do that. Boink, boink, boink. Let's go back to some comments. Bill, what's up? AKA Dollar Bill. You don't have to announce yourself. I remember you. Sterling, snowy night, going home early. I am super late. Good morning. I was super late yesterday. I did a mid-morning live feed, which I don't know, my analytics didn't quite like that. And amazingly enough, the phone did not ring. At least I don't think it did. Oh, that's the beauty of booking ahead. Let's look at Idaho. See what the flatbed stuff's coming out of Idaho. What that looks like. So Mercer's got something here coming out of Meridian. Going to Cali. 911 miles. They got a posted rate for 2074. Probably go a little bit higher than that. Lumber products. So it's going to be heavy. 46,000. See what else we got coming out of Idaho. Freight Lane Solutions. They got a lot of flatbed freight. Look at that. They got everything in here. So again, if you live in Princeton, Idaho, obviously they got a steady freight coming out of there. Going to Wisconsin, Colorado, Wisconsin, Idaho. So you can look at this map and say, well, Wisconsin may not be the best idea, but what about this Minnesota? Arizona. Then Hicks obviously has a shipper there in Priest River, Idaho. Let's see. Idaho's not a very Well, I guess it kind of is a big state. So yeah, there's so you can kind of see what's going on there. Princeton, obviously Princeton's the place to be. Let's look at Georgia. Here's a broker. Keep America rolling. Logistics. I'm going to guess that they're a new broker. Yeah, Thunder Funding is not. Look at them. 70 credit score. So I'd be aware of this one. 36 days to pay. So this is something that I've never really talked about. I don't recognize this broker name, right? But of course, that doesn't mean anything. But then that credit score you should be, buyer beware. And so what you want to do is you want to find why is it so low. So that's something that you want to look into. Let's see, Mercer. Let's look at Mercer. In contrast, when you look at Mercer, they're 98. They got an A, 27 days to pay on trans credit, 17 days to pay for Thunder Funding. So this is a more trustworthy broker. So I would do this load over the other load, even if it was a tiny bit lower rate, because there's less risk. So you need to get paid because look, when you do a long run and you're paying for fuel and you don't factor or you don't have a cash flow saved up for your fuel, man, that could really hurt you in a month or so. There's a delayed effect there. A lot of stuff going to Florida from Georgia, of course. Here we go. Let's look at Savannah, Georgia to Norwood, Massachusetts. Zoom Transportation, which I believe, yeah, they're not Thunder Funding approved, I believe. But you can see the spikes and they're above the average. Flatbed step deck, 32,000 pounds. So, but what are you going to get out of Massachusetts? So you look at the reload option. Wow, there's one. There's one that's going straight back. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry, I read that wrong. So there's 3 loads. Norwood to anywhere. There's only 3 loads, so that might not be a good spot to go to. Or if you do, you're looking at some deadhead. Depending on what your deadhead parameters are set. Hudson Falls, New York. Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina. So another shorty, and it's I believe a different, yeah. So if you do that backhaul thing and it's the same broker, then see if you can connect those loads. Boom! Now you're not on a low board for the next week. Isn't that awesome? You're not making 50 phone calls and having people hang up on you because you just want something that's fair, right? Had another broker hang up on me yesterday. Gotta love it. CN is here. Just start the broker bashing. You guys, my skin is too thick. Any you hit me with just shatters good vibes. Yeah, I mean, look, you have to have a thick skin in this game. If you're easily offended, um, that could be a problem, right? Still starting to get lonely. I'll probably end this feed here in about 5 minutes. I got work to do. I just got a phone call, and I've been getting a lot of these spam calls. Telling me which way I need to vote, kind of a deal. So it's yep. Oh, and one of my drivers informed me that I-40. Oh. Let me undo that here. Um, in Arkansas, I believe he was around Russellville area. There's a stretch of I-40 in Arkansas on the westbound side that's going to be closed here because of truck rollover. So there's your weather report. Anyways, you guys got any comments, questions, concerns, anything you want me to look up on the low board? We can do that. If not, we will end the feed. If you don't mind, please hit the thumbs up. And if you feel like contributing, that'd be great. If not, that's fine too. I know times are tough. Hopefully you're at home or you put in an early ballot, and hopefully you did your homework before you put in your ballot. And hopefully you have an unbiased news source to get the information for your ballot. It's important because they want you to lose faith in the system so you don't partake in the system. That's by design. So for those of you that say I'm not going to vote because it doesn't mean anything, well, they won. They beat you. And also vote with your wallet. That's my political second. Question for those brokers that take 1 to 2 months to pay detention: could you request a rate confirmation for detention? This way you can factor in line haul and second invoice for detention. Yes, you can do that. Most brokers will do that. So yes. Now the other thing someone can do is like, look, negotiate a higher rate in the beginning if you know there's going to be detention, so you don't even have to deal with it. So, but so where the detention comes in is when you have a new inexperienced driver that doesn't realize that load he just booked to Kroger is going to take 8 hours, or Target is going to take 8 hours to unload. So, and then they don't have a system in place and they didn't read their rate con. And I get it. Sometimes it's hard to read the rate con because you're going down the road, or you're busy, or you're overwhelmed, or you've got 8 loads coming in at you. You got to read your rate cons. Make sure you got the correct dates. Make sure you got make sure it has your trucking company on it, not somebody else's. That's happened to me. I had to call a broker like, "Hey, who's so and so trucking? Because I don't want them getting my money. I'm not doing their work for them." They're like, "Oh, well, we're so sorry." Joke around with them. Voted during your live here. Yeah, I'm probably going to go take care of that after lunch. So I know my wife's going later. We got kind of a busy day. I got so much junk flyers for politicians in my mailbox the last week. I had to go to the post office for the overflow. Yep, we've been getting those too. And really, there's one representative here. Hold on. Man, that obviously has got some really good campaign donations, because she's got signs in every yard, tons of junk mail, tons of spam. I mean, just overloading the system. And what's interesting is not one of those ads have told me what she's about. I'm sure there's been a couple, but by that time I've been overloaded and I threw it away. It's and I pay attention to the ones that do the negative ad campaigns, because obviously they're trying to distract from what they want to do, right? No, tell me what you're going to do. Not Don't tell me what the other person's going to do that you don't like. So, that's just my political 2 cents. I'm casting my vote for Meteor, Sweet Junk Mail, and Junk Call Relief. That's a good platform, right? Shannon says hit the like and do what Shannon says, please. She's the boss. She has authority. Anyways, guys, you know what? I've seen an uptick in rates and I've seen an uptick in volumes. So there won't be a Christmas rush. Now, don't get me wrong, it's lower than it has been in years, but at the same time, there's still a slight uptick. And so now's the time when you need to be, look, Thanksgiving is not too far from there now. November 24th. And as we get closer to Thanksgiving, probably on that Monday, on the 21st, I will be doing some live feeds talking about strategies for the holidays and how to capitalize on the holidays. Another idea: to read your master broker agreement. Oh, to read your master broker agreement. If there's anything about requirement to use their tracking app, when brokers say you must use their tracking app, charge $25. There you go. Some good tips. So, with that being said, thanks for watching, you guys. Things are, look, things are good, right? Things. I mean, look, it's a lot of it's in your head. A lot of it's social media driven. Just stay in your lane and work the best that you can. That's all you can do for yourself. Plan ahead, put pen to paper. You're running a business. Be a professional. My thing is, are we going to have fuel before Thanksgiving? I don't know how to answer that. The next current thing is probably just around the corner, right? Big Houston, I would look into the fuel thing. There's a lot of fear mongering going on there, so just be aware of that, please. Don't just go by headlines, people. There are people on YouTube and people on Facebook and people on TikTok that get paid to tell you that the world is going to end. All right? And here's what the big design of that is. And we're going to get deep here for a second. Donald says, look at the post Asia Mai did on the fuel. I will do that after this feed. Thank you, Donald. If you are in a constant state of stress, and this is why a majority of truck drivers are not healthy people, because your cortisol levels are raised, are basically elevated for long periods of time. If you don't eat right and you don't sleep right and your cortisol's through the roof all the time, then that's a recipe for metabolic diseases. It's as simple as that. And all the fear and propaganda that's promoted on social media can assist in keeping your cortisol levels pretty high. So you have to find a way to just kind of separate yourself from that, at least take a break from it. And the healthier you can eat and the more you can sleep, then your mental game will be a lot better. I promise you it will. But these things are designed to raise your cortisol. These things are designed to give you a dopamine hit. That's all TikTok is. They're either giving you a dopamine hit by looking at all these cool videos or these QT chick videos or natural disasters, but then you got the people on TikTok that will lecture you on how the world's falling apart and this, that, and the other. The world's always been falling apart. We've always had, since the dawn of time, there's always been an oppressive entities that want to control you. And by raising your cortisol levels and making you fat, stupid, fat and stupid and high and oblivious, that's what they want. They want you to lose faith in the system. Don't lose faith. They want you to lose hope. Don't lose hope. Because then they win. So, with that being said, strength for today, hope for tomorrow. Peace.